Welcome everyone to our 30-minute full body beginner friendly flow. My name is Nicole and I'm just gonna approach this class as hopefully maybe you have no idea about anything yoga related and this is your first time. That's my goal anyway. So if I miss something or you're very confused at the end, please shoot me an email or a comment and I will help try to clarify for you. Today I'm going to be demoing with blocks. So if you have some blocks that could be handy for this practice. And usually before class, the teacher does a little introduction like I'm doing, maybe sets the theme, maybe gives some expectations on what to expect. And so like I said, this is a full body flow with a lot of emphasis on instruction and hopefully to make it accessible to the complete beginner. So go ahead and let's find a seated position. And so for you, you might want to sit up on the block or on a pillow or anything that might get your hips up a little bit higher than your knees here. And so if you are feeling it in your knees, if you sit up, that could, maybe that might help take some of the pressure off. And then from here, get long in the spine, so just try to sit up real nice and tall. Try to have the shoulders rolling back and have nice posture. And so in yoga, it's really all about breathing. So it's more important to maintain the breath the entire practice than to lose the breath, so in other sports and stuff, you go and you start breathing through your mouth and your heart rate. You want to stop when you start being able to breathe in and out through your nose and take a resting posture. So that might look like child's pose is a really great way to do this. So if you're ever during the practice, like this is just, it's too much, I can't breathe anymore, focus on my breath, I feel stressed out, come down, spread your knees and just lower, relax your forehead on the earth, and then just breathe there. And then when you feel like you're calm and ready to continue, then just continue. That would not be seen as weird at all. Like that, that's an advanced practice, is to be able to honor where you're at, to take breaks when you need them, and to really honor the breath. And so I'm just letting you know that anytime you should take breaks and just focus on the breathing if you feel like the strain is too much, like you're breathing too heavily. Okay. And so with the breath, we use a type of breathing throughout the practice. So it's called the Ujjayi breath. The name isn't really all that important, and it's very easy, so nothing to worry yourself about. It's nose breathing, right? So we're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, but we're also adding a slight constriction at the back of the throat so that it kind of sounds like the ocean, waves, or a windy day. And so an example would be to inhale through the nose, slight constriction, and then exhale out the nose with the constriction. And then it just gives your breath a sound, something to come back to that's calming. It massages your vagus nerve, so it is calming as well as heating. So warm your muscles up while we're moving. Get some sweat going, maybe. All right, are you ready to practice? I hope. We are going to start standing. So if you want to first start standing in the middle of your mat, facing me. And we're going to put our attention into our feet. So we're going to have our feet under our hips. And our toes are going to be pointing forward. And for a moment, lift all 10 toes off and then put them back on the earth. And then feel all 4 corners of your feet and see if you are distributing your weight evenly, or can you distribute your weight more evenly. And then we're going to a little bend in the knees and draw up, engage the core, lift up a little bit through the heart, roll the shoulders back, palms face forward, chin neutral. And this is a place we will turn to often and in many of the classes. Sama CTE, Tadasana, standing. And now let's try our breath here. Breathing in deeply through the nose, the constriction, and then exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. One more round of breath. And you're going to bring your hands to your heart center. In my classes, I like to offer a moment for you to set an intention. And so what I like to do is just like, excuse me, maybe a word that pops into mind: love, compassion, strength, resilience, any one word that might pop into your mind that resonates with you, that you would like to see more of in your life. And then go ahead and drop the hands and bring yourself to the front of the mat. And your feet can be apart a little bit under your hips or together, depending on what's comfortable for you. So always you're the first, like the final say, like something doesn't feel right. You know your body best. Little bend in the knees, and we're going to inhale the arms up overhead, trying to stay nice and engaged through the core, really lifting tall, maybe gazing up. And then press the palms together, bend the knees, and then exhale as we start to fold over. And then this is a good place for the blocks. And an inhale, we would fold over, inhale, halfway look up. So I'm just drawing length into my spine and pressing down and pulling my hands towards me to pull length. Exhale, fold. And then inhale all the way to the top. And we'll practice that 2 more times. Hands in prayer, exhaling through heart center, bending the knees. Inhale, halfway look up, the chin lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to the top. Press the palms. Come down through heart center on the exhale. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, fold. And inhale all the way to standing. And then from here, we're going to prepare to step out. So just step about 3 feet. And find a good angle for you here. And then maybe have that little bend in the knees, or focus on the feet, pressing down through all 4 corners. The toes are pointing forward. We can bring our arms out to the side. And then from here, bring your awareness down to your feet once more, and your right foot, your back foot, pivot it in some so it's at an angle, and turn your front foot to face the short edge of the mat. And you can bring your hands to your hips here and see how this feels. You may want to move your back foot out more towards the edge of your mat. See if that's more comfortable for you. So try to find a nice spot here. Are you comfortable? Got that back foot at a little bit of an angle. Front foot toes are pointing forward. And now if we just bend our front knee, we are in warrior one. You want to raise the arms up overhead, you can. We're just going to want to be pressing down firmly through the feet. Really pulling the core in towards the spine and trying to lift it up longer. Breathing. And then straighten that front leg. Turn the toes. So now both toes are now towards the long edge of the mat. Hands to hips. A little bend in the knees as we start to fold forward. Grab your blocks to take with you. And just breathe. Maybe on the inhale, you feel like you rise a little bit out of the pose. And then on the exhale, sinking a little bit deeper. And then hold your flat back here. And we're going to prepare now to shift the feet. So bring your awareness to your feet. That back right foot, turn it to the short edge of the mat. Your back foot at an angle, left foot at an angle. And some may need to shorten your stance, lengthen your stance. That back foot, do you need to come out more towards the edge of your mat to have more room so that you're on train tracks and not one track, but two? Sometimes it is taught to be more on one, but it's irrelevant. So you really should practice and see where you feel better, where you feel secure. And now that we're here, bend that front knee. And can you see that big toe? Try to keep this thigh rolling out. And then inhale your arms up overhead. Warrior one. Virabhadrasana 1. Virabhadrasana 1 is warrior one. Breathe. Try to engage this glute. Pressing down firmly through the feet. Raising up through the spine. And then straighten that leg, your front leg. Pivot your toes, facing the long edge of the mat once more. We're going to forward, have those blocks handy. Forward fold. Have one block under your face. And then bring your right hand to your low back. Press down through that block. Firmly activate those hands. And then feel in your low back, what's it doing? Is it jutting one way or the other? Could you balance a glass on it? So keep it there. Don't move your low back. Bring your right hand to your heart and then just work on rolling your heart space open. And then maybe raising that arm to the sky. And breathing. Deep belly breaths, if possible. Lower that hand. Switch. Left hand to low back. level it out once more. Press down firmly through that right hand. And then bring your left hand to your heart. And then just start to keep your low back where it is. And just start to just roll your heart space. Heart open. And then raise that hand up to the sky. Or just leave it here. Or you can even leave your hand just resting on your low back. And then come back. Inhale, lift. Halfway. Look up. Chin lifts. Put a little bend in those knees and stand all the way up. Pivot the toes. So now we're once more at the front of our mat, left foot in front. Bring the blocks down. Turn the back heel up. And then come into plank position. All right. In plank, pressing down firmly through the hands. Trying to press out through the back of the heels. Pulling in and up through the core. A little poof in the back of the heart. Breathing. You can always lower the knees for less intensity. And excellent work. Lower the knees. Go ahead and remove the blocks for a moment. And we're gonna lower down onto our bellies. And from here, sphinx, bringing the elbows under the shoulders. And the hands are still really engaged. And press down through your elbows. And then pull yourself forward some. So down with elbows and forward to help broaden your heart. Pick one leg up behind you, stretch it back, lower it. Pick the other leg up, stretch it back, lower it. Breathe in. Feel the belly expand into the floor as you do. And out. And try to find some relaxation for a moment. Deep breath into the belly. And then exhale. One more deep breath. Feel the belly expand into the floor. And then sigh the last one out. Now lower and bring your hands palm face up by your sides. Check your shoulders. And then if they're pitching forward, roll them up and then back onto your back. And then from here, we're going to inhale, lift off of the earth. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, feet, hands, head, chest bright. Exhale, lower. Last round, inhale, lift. And lower. Rest your forehead in the middle of your hands. And take another round of deep breathing. Deep breath into the belly. Feel it expand into the floor. And sigh it out. And deep breath in. Sigh it out. One more deep breath. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and bring your hands under your shoulders. Press up onto all fours. Go ahead and grab your blocks again if you're using them. And get a firm grip here on your blocks. You want your hands really active. You want, to be able to lift them up. No loosey-goosey of the hands. Hands active. They're hands and feet, right? They're your foundation. So if you want to if you want to remember anything, then let's keep the feet active and the hands active. Everything else will come into place. Knees under hips, little bend in the elbows. Inhale, lift the knees off. Exhale, start to shift your hips back towards your feet, really extending your arms, and then pressing through your balls of your feet. Lift your hips high to the sky, dropping the head, pulling the core in and up. And then lastly, having the heels work their way towards the mat. But that's the last thing. Not even important, not special. Keep the knees bent a whole bunch if that feels right to you. If you're feeling like you can go ahead and come down now, take a moment here and breathe in child's pose. And I'm gonna give you a few things to consider for downward dog. So here we are. And it's just because I can't see you, I don't know what your experience is like. So maybe you're really long and you're like, this is really hard on the shoulders. Shorten your down dog, and then that might help. So give that a try if you were feeling like your hips weren't high enough and you were taking it all on the shoulders. All right, now let's inhale, knees, press the hips back and up. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg once more. And then come up on the ball of the back foot. Look forward. Start to shift forward. Bring that back knee, left knee into the navel and step through. That's why the blocks are wonderful here. So it gives you the space, hopefully, to step through. And if it doesn't, just pick a higher setting and work that until you get there. And we're in lunge. Press down through your feet. Inhale the arms up, overhead. From high lunge, we're going to take our awareness to our back foot. And we're going to pivot so that the knife edge is facing the short edge. Maybe a little more angle in. You can kind of, depending on your hips, maybe out more or in more. You can decide. And then we're gonna bend down into that front leg. This thigh is rolling out so I can see my big toe there. Inhale, arms out to the side. And here we have Warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. Warrior 2. So we had done Warrior 1. Now we're in Warrior 2, facing the long edge of our mat. Arms are out like a T. Trying to relax the shoulders so they're not hugging in towards the ear, but relaxing down the back. Breathing. Pressing down firmly through the feet. Maybe squeezing the feet together some. Such hard work. Looking out over that middle finger. And excellent. Okay, straighten that front leg. Beautiful. Turn that back front toe. So now both toes are facing the long edge of the mat. And, pardon me, I'm going to draw the heels in. Draw the other heel in. And we're going to squat down. This is goddess pose. The hand to heart center. Breathe. Feel your mind starts to wander, just try to bring it back to the breath. And then straighten the legs, hands to hips, pivot the feet. So my right foot is now pointing the short edge of the back end of my mat. And my other foot's at an angle. I'm setting myself up here for warrior two. Squatting down. And I'm gonna raise my arms out. Turn my torso so it's facing the long edge of the mat. Breathe. Can see my big toes, thighs rolling out, not turning in. And then always, if you need to make more space so your railroad tracks are a little bit further apart, do so. And then squeeze that leg straight. Beautiful. Pivot the toes once more to the long edge. And then turn that heel in. Turn your other heel in. Squat down. Now bring your hands to your inner thighs and drop one shoulder. Inhale, recenter, and then drop the other shoulder. This little twisting motion. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, twist, exhale. Inhale, exhale, twist. Beautiful. Come on up, straighten the legs. Grab your blocks. Turn your toes. So now we are facing the front once more. Come down over your front foot. Turn that back heel up. And then step back into plank. And lower the knees. And you can go ahead and move the blocks off to the side. And let's bring the knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. You can have the feet flat or toes curled under. Let's just take a few cat-cows here. So exhale, cow. Pressing down through the hands still firmly. Pointing the tailbones dramatically to the sky. And the collarbones bright. So we have our cow here. Now inhale, begin to curl into a C shape, pulling the navel in and really trying to accentuate a curve in the upper back and dropping the head, chin to chest. And then exhale. These are very articulated and slow. Now, you can feel free to experiment with your own breath to your own movement. So exhaling cow, inhaling cat. And back to neutral. Go ahead and sit back on your heels. Widen the knees as wide as the mat. And then you can use your hands to really help press your hips down towards your feet. And then rest your forehead on the earth. Breathing in and out. And then inhale, come on up. And we're gonna shift the hips off to the left. Reach your right hand out, and then up and over with that left hand. Nice side stretch. Breathing. And then inhale up. You want to draw your right knee, your right foot around your left knee. Try to sit evenly. And then length, inhale, sit with good posture. And then right hand behind you. Inhale your left hand to the sky. Exhale, we are going to come forward and either hook or just grasp that knee. And then exhale as we twist further and turn the head to look over that right shoulder. And inhaling, think length, think getting tall. And on the exhale, think twist. Even if you don't twist. Now your head back to center. Then the rest of you undo that leg. And now we're gonna drop our hips to the right. Reach out with the left hand and up and over with the right for a nice side stretch. And you can always look down if your neck's bothering you. I like to close my eyes a whole bunch, but for balance sake, it's best to keep them open. But if you find yourself in a position where you feel restful and at ease, you can experiment with closing your eyes and just keep breathing. And then inhale, come on up. And I'm going to bring this left leg around the right knee. So we're here, bringing it around. Adjusting our seat so we're sitting tall, nice and tall, good posture. You can bring your left hand around behind you. Inhale, raise that right hand to the sky, and then begin to twist and either hook and re-straighten or just grasp that knee. Then exhale, twist, and look over that left shoulder. And inhale, bring your head back to center. The rest of you, come undone. And let's bring our legs out in front of us for our seated staff. So the knees can be anywhere that they need to be so that you feel like you can sit up tall and not be rounding over. So let's all just start here, tucked in, chin lifting, breathing. And we're going to start to come forward, but just as much as our torso can maintain contact with our thighs. The chin stays lifting. It's just a nice way to kind of protect the low back as we come into this forward fold. And then when we've reached a nice place and we feel like this is good and we're nice and long, then from here, with this protection, go ahead and round and drop the head and take nice deep breaths up the spine. Just imagine it traveling up your spine and down your spine. Inhale up the spine. And exhale down the spine. Just imagining. And inhale, core engaged. Come on out. And we are going to come on to our backs now. And go ahead and just draw the knees in for a minute. That feels nice sometimes. Roll around on the low back if you like that. Keep breathing. And we're going to prepare for a figure 4. So, right foot, raise it up, hook, cross it over, cross your ankle over your left thigh. So when you look down, looks kind of like maybe you have a 4, but there's a little hole you could reach your hand through. So reach your hand through that hole, lift that left foot up, and reach around with your left hand to clasp hands if that works for you. And then just breathe into sensations. And keep the feet flexed and active. Roll around if you like that. And then exhale, come out, and we were gonna switch sides. So raise the left leg into the air, cross it over, reach your hand through that hole, lift the right foot up, and then come around with that right hand. Maybe clasp your left hand, keeping the feet active. Head relaxed on the floor. And then release. And then bring your feet as wide as the mat. You can bring your hands out in cactus. And then we're just going to drop the knees off one way. Exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale, drop the knees the other way. Inhale to center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now bring one foot to center, left foot to center. Cross your right foot over. And then pick the hips up. Shift them to the right. And then let the knees fall to the left. Maybe look to the right. And still breathing. Breathe into those bodily sensations. And then inhale, come back to center, unwind, reset the pelvis so you feel even. And I'll cross the left leg over. Shift the hips just a little bit to the left. And then let the knees fall slowly to the right. Maybe the hands in cactus. Maybe it's fully extended. looking to the left and breathing. And then inhale back to center, come undone. And we're going to take a happy baby's happy baby. We're going to reach for the outside edges of our feet and pull them down, trying to draw the knees to the outside edges of the torso. Keeping the whole back body on the earth, head on the earth. Pulling down to kind of help just release all that into the earth. You can roll around if that feels nice, or stay still. And then draw yourself into a ball. Hug yourself tight, tight, tight. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And when you cannot hold it any longer, start to release out. Let the legs fall out. Palms turn up. And we're coming now into our Savasana, which is our final resting pose or corpse pose. But the intention here is that you find a position that you can completely relax in, completely let go for the next few minutes. And this is the part of the practice where we integrate everything, or integrate so that we can go out into the world and take some of this calmness with us. This is one of the most important poses. Please stay wherever you have decided your final resting place should be. I will sit up to keep space for you. Breathe into anything that arises, and then exhale, let it go. I'll guide you out in just a moment. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you would like. Longer is better. If you need to come out, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a deep breath in. And you roll to your right side. Take another breath in. And when you're ready, use your hands to push yourself back to a seated position. I hope you had a nice practice. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And I guess the main takeaway, this is your practice. So if something doesn't feel right, you don't have to do it. Rest when you need to rest, and always remember your base. Your hands and your feet, setting those up properly will help you in the long run. I'm sure there's more, but that's all that's coming to me right now. So I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week. I have more beginner practices in my beginner series. I'll leave this at the end of the video. Check those out. Let me know. And namaste, which is the light within me, recognizing the light within you. Namaste.